Protests have erupted in Minnesota after a woman was shot in her vehicle by ICE agents. Some say this was justified. Some say that it wasn't. What's my opinion? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the ICE shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota that claimed the life of a 37-year-old woman. And may she rest in peace. Prayers out to the family. However, in my humble opinion, this was 100% her fault. Not the fault of ICE agents, not the fault of Donald Trump, not the fault of anyone other than herself. What do you think is going to happen when you try to run over anybody, whether it be a police officer, public safety, ICE agent, regular person? What do you think is going to happen when you have a vehicle, you're trying to run them over, and they got a gun? I mean, it doesn't take much to add 2 and 2 to get 4. It's pretty simple. Now, before I go too far into it, I'm going to just show you better than I can tell you, okay? I'm going to show you a few different angles. Then we're going to get to the news and see what they say. And, of course, I will link to everything in the description box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio. Go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll this. Okay, now let's kind of go through it, because one thing about it, this happens very quickly and we got to go through it frame by frame. Let me turn the sound off. Now, pay attention to right above the 5 right here in the bottom right-hand corner. Let's look at that. Now, I'm going to kind of slow it frame by frame so you're able to see. Okay, now right here, there's an ICE agent in front of the vehicle that the woman is driving. And as he's right there, there's another agent on the driver's side with the window open, like kind of hanging on to the car. So and you see right here, the vehicle goes forward and then the officer is basically clipped. And he has to make evasive maneuvers to prevent from getting up under the vehicle and being run over. Okay. So right when this happens, that's when the gunshots happen. Okay, now let's get a better view. Well, a different view. Then we're going to get a more up close view. So let's watch this one right quick, and you're going to see it from this way. Now, a little bit of context. What's happening is that the woman had been harassing ICE agents all day and was blocking them from being able to maneuver. And the agents were trying to get their vehicle out of the snow because it got stuck. And she's getting in the way. So they're going to approach the vehicle like, hey, get out the car, get out the way, you're obstructing. That's the context here. Let's keep going. So you see how this person is intentionally blocking the road. ICE agents come up to her, hey, get out the car, get out the road. So now here comes evasive maneuver right away. She is turning the wheel to the left to back up rather than doing what the agent is telling her. So then it becomes about to get dragged. So automatically they're going to have spidey senses on, ready to react. And then after this person backs up, and you see at first the wheel is going to the left to back up, then the wheel goes forward. So when the wheel was turned to the left and they were going backward, the vehicle was in reverse. But then once the wheel gets straightened and is able to head forward, it goes forward, which means the vehicle was put in drive. This is intentional to try and run over or clip or drag the officer. And right when that happens, that's when the gunshot rings out. Let's hear it.
No! Shame! Shame! Oh my God.
So there we go. Now, let's get a better angle. This is able to, you're really able to see the wheel turn and the intention right here. Let me turn that sound off. So you see it left, 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 and then it straightens. Okay, it straightens and immediately goes forward. Now, the news, we're going to watch the news. They said that the wheel was turning right. Was it turning right? Eventually, it was turning right when they realized it was about to get shot. But when the wheel was going forward, it was not turning right. It was turning left, and then it went to the center to drive straight. See? Right away. From reverse to drive and then straight. You see the officer right here on the driver's side, another one right there in the front. He was in danger of being clipped. See? And then that's when the gunshots rang out. Then the wheel begins to turn right because the gun that came out, the gunshots happening, and we're watching this in slow motion, frame by frame. Okay? Now, some are saying, oh, she was just trying to get away. Just trying to get away. So let me get this straight. I'm able to just ignore officers' commands, do whatever I want to do. So, hey, check it out. Next time I get a traffic stop, let me just pull over. And then when they come to the actual window, I can drive off with them hanging on my car, potentially drag them, run them over, go on a high-speed chase, and then they can't do anything to me because I was just trying to get away. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. Now, here we have the news, and they're going to report this a little bit differently than I did. Check it out.
Now to the protests in Minneapolis and across the country after an immigration agent shot and killed a woman on the street just blocks away from where George Floyd was killed in 2020. Schools in Minneapolis are closed today with the city on edge. We warn you, the video is disturbing.
Overnight, thousands gathering in Minneapolis for a vigil in memory of 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a local resident and mother shot and killed by an ICE agent.
No justice! No peace!
Polarized narratives are now forming about what led to her death. Her Honda SUV was parked in the street. She appears to motion to other vehicles to pass. But a truck stops and federal agents walk toward her, asking her to step out of the vehicle. She reverses, then puts the SUV in drive, and shots are fired. Played in slow motion, you can see the vehicle reverse to the left. As the SUV is put in drive, you can see an ICE agent standing in front on the driver's side. He draws his gun as the SUV moves forward. As the vehicle begins to move, its wheels pointed to the right.
See, let's pause right there. The vehicle was moving before the wheels pointed to the right. The vehicle was moving when the wheels were pointed forward. When the gun came out and the shots rang out, then it became, okay, now I'm trying to escape. But the intention was to hit the officer because the person did hit the officer or at least clipped him. Okay, so that's the difference between what I'm talking about and what the news are going to put out there. People watch ABC News, they watch all the other alphabet letter organizations, and they're going to believe what they put out. Now, I'm going to leave that right there. And I'll, again, link to the rest of this in the box. But there's a little bit more I want to show. A little bit more I want to show. We have an eyewitness who was there, and she's going to say what happened.
Clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
That was her goal. They clearly.
Of course, obviously, anybody could have seen that. And then when the ICE agents were coming to her saying, hey, get out the car, get out the way, etc., then it became, rather than just impeding the ICE vehicles, let me go ahead and hit one of them. That's what I saw in the video. If anybody thinks differently, let me know in the comments. Now, Christy Nome came out and said that the person, the ICE agent in question, had already been dragged before in Minneapolis. So this was not his first rodeo. He had already been through a thing like this, so he knows the dangers. He knows the signs. He has training. He's not just a moron off the street with no knowledge. Let's watch this. And then we're going to get into the news clip from that incident previously.
Alone is facing a 1,300% increase in assaults against them and an 8,000% increase in death threats against all of them. In fact, the very same officer who was attacked today had previously been dragged by an anti-ICE rioter who had rammed him with a car and drug him back in June. he sustained injuries at that time as well.
Okay, now I have the news report. Okay, let's watch this.
Arrest in the Twin Cities is leading to even more charges.
This home security video shows a driver taking off during a traffic stop, dragging a deportation officer with him. New at 10, WCCO's Uba Ali walks us through this video and the political firestorm behind it.
What began as a planned federal immigration arrest took a violent turn in this quiet Bloomington neighborhood. And it was all caught on camera. According to a federal complaint, agents were executing a warrant for 39-year-old Roberto Carlos Munoz. They say Munoz entered the country unlawfully, and he also pled guilty to fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct back in 2023 for abusing a minor.
It's always the worst people who get the most praise and support from liberals, mainstream media, everything else. You got a child sex offender dragging an ICE agent, and then this very same agent almost gets hit or drugged again by somebody who was doing that intentionally, blocking the ICE agents, who had no respect for them, no regard for them. And then when he does the right thing to defend himself, he gets thrown under the bus by the left. No more. Look, as I close, I want to say this. Rest in peace to the young lady. Prayers out to her family. I think she had a daughter. She was married to a woman, by the way, which is a different story. Anyway, prayers out to the family. However, you cannot do stuff like this and expect to get away with it. I don't understand. So can I just try to hit a cop with my car after they tell me to get out and then nothing happens to me? What do I think is going to happen after I do something like that? It makes no sense for me to think that it's just going to be okay. Yeah, I could just almost hit you, drag you, and do whatever. And nah, that's not the way it works. And let it be a lesson to anybody out there. Don't interfere with police and ICE and the military and stuff like that. And if they tell you, hey, get out the car, stop, stop. Don't drive forward. Don't try to run them over. Don't do anything of the sort. I'm just saying. To me, it's common sense. But at this point, 2026, common sense ain't too common. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about this whole situation? Do you think that the woman was trying to hit the officer, or was she just trying to get away when they told her to get out the car and stop and don't do this and don't? She was just trying to get away. I mean, you know, the wheels eventually pointed right after she got shot a couple times. But right when she first went, she was just trying to go forward after being in the street blocking ICE agents intentionally. Whatever your thoughts on this are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I mean, for real, she got what she deserved. It is what it is. I ain't even really trying to be funny. I'm just saying that's just the truth. Don't do stuff like that. If anybody does anything like that, I don't care what color they are, what religion they are, what gender they identify with, what sexuality they have. I couldn't care less. If you do something like that, you are most likely going to get that result as a result. Simple as that. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.